Hello guys, so we are Caitlin and Damian and we are part of Catch the Fire Manchester, and we wanted to share a little bit of our story of our journey with mental health issues. So first of all, I started having problems with mental health about 5 years ago. I had developed depression where I couldn't even get out of bed. I was just bedridden for months, and then I also developed extreme anxiety. Even the noise of like helicopters flying over our flat at the time would just cause me to have a panic attack. And we spent so many nights in A&E trying to work out what was going on. So if you're going through anything like that, we completely understand, and Damian has his own story.
Yeah, so for me, everything was going great. This was way after Caitlin dealt with her problems with mental health. So for me, it started when things actually went well, and I had an increase in my job pay. We just bought a house. Everything seemed to be going great in the right direction, and suddenly one day I woke up and it was just like an overnight thing. I couldn't button my shirt up. I've been so run down with stresses of life, with working 45 plus hour weeks as a teacher, and the workload and the things of my mind of how much I had to do was ever growing, and so this initially made me feel burnt out. But then I kept pushing myself, not taking a break, because I felt like I just have to push through it and keep going. Maybe it just needs to get till Christmas, that kind of thing. And then what doctors warned me, like, it's just gonna get worse if you don't stop. And it did get worse, and I had a full-on breakdown where I had panic attacks about going back to work because of how much work I had to do. I couldn't just get out of bed. I had no energy. I felt crap about myself, to put it that way, and went into full-blown depression from that. Then the doctors gave me medication for it because I was like, I don't know what to do, and they gave me the wrong medication. They gave me an antidepressants that completely messed me up, and one of the side effects was that I became really suicidal, and I had vivid dreams and vivid thoughts about wanting to commit suicide, and in all these different ways, and it was really rough. It was really dark, and at that time I thought I would not come through it. I really did. And I suppose it's a lot of us might feel when you're in the darkness, when you're in the valley, when you're in that time, that there is no light at the end of the tunnel, because the tunnel is so big, and there might be bends and curves in the tunnel, which means the light is not bouncing and can get through sometimes, but the light is still there at the end of the tunnel. And for me, what helped me was finding the right medication, and then finding the right therapy, somebody who could speak truth into my situation and help me to understand that actually it's okay what I'm feeling. That even though I'm the first person in my family to struggle with mental health, and with the stigma that was attached to that, that it was okay. And I had friends who came around and who would force me to worship. They would force me to socialize, and that kind of helped to bring me back to normality, back into the real world. So out of hiding under my desk because of fear, into normality and wellness. And couldn't have done it without my church family. Couldn't have done it without all these different things I've put in place. And just want to encourage you that when it's really dark and there doesn't seem to be any light at the end of the tunnel, God still hears you, even when you don't feel like He hears you. He still does hear you. Do you want to explain a bit how you got out of it?
Yeah, so anxiety is blowing things out of proportion, and depression is like a dark cloud sucking the life from you. That's exactly what we felt, and I'm sure there are people out there who feel like this. But peace is the antidote to a world's gone mad.
Yeah.
Our world just makes so many people sick. It makes so many people compare themselves and feel like they're insignificant, and that's where a lot of depression comes from, and anxiety. We constantly feel like we're on a hamster wheel. We have to keep running. But the good news is that Jesus is our peace, and he is the only peace. So cast your anxieties on him because he cares for you. You are precious in his eyes. He loves you with an unfailing love and rejoices over you with singing. These are all in the Bible. This is not anything we've made up. You are not insignificant, no matter what anyone has said about you. Just look at God's heart towards you. He is the Father. So never try to conjure up a self-worth that is outside of the Lord. It is through Christ that you are made perfect. So we just want to encourage you that don't go it alone. If you are struggling, please open up to people you trust. Maybe even speak to a doctor, get a therapist if that's something you can afford, but there are also free methods of counselling. And if you don't know Jesus, we want you to know that he is our peace. He is the only source of peace. It cannot be found anywhere else, no matter how hard you try. And we have seen that in our own lives. And please just keep going. If you need anyone to reach out to, we are happy for you to comment or to reach out to us by email, and we would love to pray with you and see you have your peace. God bless.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
At Catch the Fire Manchester, our hope whilst you're watching this content is that you encounter the living God and that he transforms your life.
If you want to access more content from Catch the Fire Church in Manchester, why not like and subscribe? You can also join us every Sunday morning as we gather to worship and glorify God together. The link for that will be in the bio. You can jump on our website at ctfmanchester.com for any more details. We'll see you guys really soon.